What up, what up, what up, sports fans all over the world? It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan. I'm here with my guys, the Horsemen, Zion Zenith, Adam Costas, and y'all know the one and only NYG Jeffrey T, always shining that light bright down on us all. This is the Premium Takes Podcast. Let's go!
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for joining us again on another Friday afternoon, Friday night, wherever you're watching from. I got the two best co-hosts in the world. What's up, Mac? What's up, Adam? How's you guys' day going today? How's you guys' week been as well?
It's been exhausting. This has been an exhausting week. I mean, I don't really know where to put it. It's been interesting, busy. Work is always busy, but the show must go on, and it's gonna be no rest for the weary. Doing this, coming here, do this show tonight, and I'll be right back at it 5 a.m. tomorrow morning for the Elimination Chambers live stream.
Wait, you're
5
getting up
a.m.
for
tomorrow
that?
morning, man.
Wow.
Doing it live too,
I
Adam.
sure am.
Listen to that, folks. That's dedication, okay? My man has a day off to relax, but instead he's working hard for you guys and getting up at 5 a.m. to give you that live broadcast. Mac, terrific stuff, man. I admire your dedication. Nice. I would be giving them the play-by-play after the fact, at like 9 o'clock, but, that's just me. But, hey, you're a better guy than I am. That's why you're Mac the Giant fan, and I'm Adam. But I am happy because at the end of this week is my birthday, so I can't be, disappointed about that. I'm unfortunately, I kiss goodbye my 30s, and I enter my 40s. Mac, I have joined you. I have a 4 in front of my digits. Starting now, it is I trying to not have any gray hairs, but if anyone's seen the show Full House and know Uncle Jesse, that's me right now, trying to keep the black hair going, not trying to get old, not trying to age. But my man over here, Mac, looks like he's aged. Got the nice salt and pepper beard going. I like that. So, he's giving me hope. Mac has given me hope. So, everyone, just wanted to say I appreciate you guys coming out every week, hanging out with us. If we haven't expressed that enough, and I guess I'm just happy mood because it's birthday week. But I do really appreciate everybody, and we work hard for you. Mac is getting up at 5 a.m. to do this for you. So
5 a.m.
I God bless him. Thank you so much, everyone, and look forward to a fun combine next week.
Absolutely. And happy Friday to you too, Daniel. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, you know what they say, Adam, 30s is the new 20s and 40s is the new 30s. So you're still young,
I thought, no. Hold on. When I was a kid, the 40s were the new 20s. So now we're pushing it back a decade.
Well,
now we're pushing it back. What has happened?
Still young.
I understand that, but I'm thinking 40. I'm like, I'm thinking about when my parents were like, hey, your 40s are like your 20s, blah, blah, blah. I need to be excited. My 30s were exciting, but
yeah,
I need to pretend I'm a little spry. You know what I'm saying?
We don't like to say old. We just like to say a decade more. What is
I'm
that
40
word?
years young. Okay. God
40 years young. There you go. We'll just leave it at that, and we'll move on, guys, with our first topic. Barkley, his contract is coming up in free agency. If you really look at the NFL combine or NFL prospects, should I say, coming out, there's not really that one stud running back that you would see go in earlier rounds. If you look at the free agents on the market, Barkley is going to be the best of the best, the cream of the crop. So when you think about the Giants and our current salary cap situation, I mean, like, do we have enough to pay Barkley? Is he going to be a Giant? Is he not going to be a Giant? I know this has been a full year discussion for the New York Giants, being that this has been a terrible season and the contract negotiations at the start of the season. That being said, where do you guys stand on Saquon Barkley either returning on the Giant and not returning as a Giant? Let's start with Mac.
Well, look, and I really, honestly, this is the last time I even want to really discuss this. Mm-hmm. Nothing anybody ever going to say is going to change my opinion of Saquon Barkley. I am a big Saquon Barkley guy. Very, very much pro Saquon Barkley. No, I do not believe he's going to be a New York Giant next year. And you know what? I hope he's not, because he deserves better than the fucking New York Giants. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Saquon Barkley, people, all these, like a lot of the fans, try to throw shade at Saquon Barkley. He shouldn't have used that pick on the running back at number 2 overall, and all this la 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 shit. Fuck that. This organization failed him, not the other way around. This organization failed him. They put nothing around him his entire career thus far. They put nothing in front of him to block for him his entire career thus far. The reason he was able to have so much more success his rookie season, well, a couple reasons. Eli Manning was still very much the full-time quarterback. And also we actually did have a number 1 wide receiving threat on the outside, Odell Beckham Jr. So it's a Saquon rookie season. So even with the deficiencies of the O-line, his rookie season, you had a couple of extra pieces that make things still work out a little bit better for him, which is why his rookie season statistically is still his best season of his career. This organization has completely failed this young man. This young man has shown nothing but loyalty to this organization. He's still to this day right now saying he wants to be very much a part of it, but he deserves better than this anyway. As long as he doesn't go off and sign with the Cowboys or Eagles or something like that, I'm fine. Just go somewhere and be the guy that I know he can be. He just deserves much better. Have an opportunity to actually legitimately be a winner in this league. And right now, with the New York Giants, he's not really getting much. He's not really getting that opportunity. There may be an unpopular opinion. Shout out to my guy, Unpopular Opinion Sports. But right now, I'm going to come with an unpopular opinion, man. You know what I mean? That's just it might not be unpopular. It might not be an unpopular opinion, but he definitely deserves better than what the New York Giants can have been able to provide for him. And at the end of the day, I'd rather see the guy just go off somewhere, like I said, and show off and show everybody that put me on just a team that has some other around it. Like teams coming, I mean, defenses literally for the last 4 or 5 years.
You cut off?
Did he freeze?
Cool. I think he did, folks, as we have technical
Since he's been
difficulty.
here.
Go ahead, Matt. You're back.
Since-
Can you
and-
repeat
and-
that last
and it's just
point?
the truth, man. I'm saying opposing defenses have had to worry about nothing but Saquon Barkley when they're getting game planning for the New York Giants for the last pretty much 5 years of his career, ever since his rookie season. There's never been any other threat offensively for this team that keeps defenses up at night, that keep defensive coordinators up at night, that they scheme against. Just Saquon Barkley, and he's still been fairly productive, all things considered. Considering he's the only guy that anybody wants to try to stop or attempt to stop when we play them. So at the end of the day, he deserves better. Like I said, hope he just goes off somewhere, rides off to the sunset, and gets. He's not. No matter what. Teams ain't paying running backs top dollar like that no more. So he's gonna have a hard time getting that big, huge contract no matter where he goes. But at the end of the day, I think the guy deserves better than what the New York Giants have provided for him. And that's just the way I feel about it. I'm always gonna be a fan, but at the end of the day, I'm always number one gonna be a fan of the New York Giants first. So nothing's gonna ever stop that. But Saquon Barkley, man, good luck to you. But I think he definitely played his last game with the New York Giants, and it just is what it is.
Before I pass it over to Adam, I'm gonna have you take
Thanks,
this
Randy.
one. Baltimore. Do you think he's a good fit for Baltimore?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Alrighty, Adam. Your turn. What's your thoughts about Barkley? I want to hear your take on it.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But it's time to move on. Like it's just time to move on. Like go be a winner, bro. This team is not. This team is trying to find its sea legs, right? This is what we're trying to do. Hopefully, we're getting a new quarterback in here. But Barkley needs to go on to someplace else to win a chip, man. Isn't that what you play football for, right? To win a championship, to be a Super Bowl contender. He was touched by the hand of God. Well, guess what? If he goes to a team like Baltimore's a team because they're desperate need of a running back. So maybe he goes there. Maybe he goes to the Chargers because they need running game help, right? Go to a place where they're winning is on the brain for them. It's on the mind for them. Our team should not be worried about winning. It should be worried about establishing a foundation going forward and rebuilding this the right way, right? And that means we may not be good for a year or two. So why waste more years here? You've done a good job. Give him the gold watch. Give him the send-off. You're once a Giant, always a Giant. I said this before. I said that he could go off and make his money anywhere. It's not like he can't come back and still be a Giant, right? Once a Giant, always a Giant. So, if he goes off and, let's say wins a championship and wins a couple more rushing titles or is in the top 5 running backs in some other place, is that a bad thing? I mean, we want this. I feel bad for this guy's career because he is a dynamic player. He has, I wouldn't say, I don't want to go in the same way that the Giants haven't done a service because then you can go down the Daniel Jones route. But what he's done on bad teams is show up and show out, regardless of who's there. He's what elevated that team. He won, I think he won Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was, or in the conversation.
Yeah, in his first year, I believe.
No, he did win Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Well, he came out.
He was Rookie of the Year.
All 2,000 yards all purpose.
Right. So he came out. He was gangbusters. The pick people loved. It doesn't matter about the pick anymore. That's ancient history. That's just what people want to use to bash. There are many different ways to go. Well, my thought process was O-lineman. Their thought process was Eli Manning's still our guy. We're going to try to win. They try to get him a weapon. I don't blame Barkley for that. But what I need to say to Barkley is, like I say, go win. Go to a team that has a chance so you don't ruin your career. I know you're loyal, and that's great. But even Kevin Garnett left Minnesota at one point. Minnesota was doing him dirty. And he stayed and stayed and stayed. And at some point, they were just like, yo, move on. Go to a place where you actually have a chance to win. He ends up going to Boston and winning his championship and cementing Kevin Garnett, the big tickets legacy in basketball. I know that might be a weird parallel, but you're kind of at a crossroads with Barkley. Someone needs to tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, listen, it's not here anymore. You've done everything you can. You've carried a franchise 5 years. You've been the face of the franchise for 5 years. You've done everything the franchise has asked. But right now, if you think you deserve to get paid, go out there and do it. And do it. Don't come back to this team and then get compromised or lose your value because you're behind a banged-up O-line, because the cornerback needs you or needs to lean on you. Go there and explore the option. What's the worst that could happen if somebody gives you a little bit more money? What's the worst that could happen? Maybe you win a championship. Because I know there's going to be people lined up for services. I just don't think the Giants at this point they have money. Obviously, the cap went up. But I think it's time for them to figure out what they want to do and maybe get a running back by committee type thing going on here where you can, I'm not saying take away the dynamic player, but if you're in rebuild mode, let's rebuild. Let's just use that money elsewhere to build the O-line and put it in a Kwanu or Wanu or whatever that guy's name is from the Patriots or the guy from the Raiders, whatever you decide to do. Go get yourself maybe a defensive end like a Josh Allen or Bryce Huff. Like, go do that and make those moves. Sign Xavier McKinney, and away you go. This team is good to go. And then you can go and find an avenue over there while this offense gets its sea legs, because they're probably going to bring in a new quarterback. I think I'm going to say 85% they're getting a new quarterback in here next year. So that means, to me, you're not trying to win. So I know I've been long-winded on here, but at the end of the day, just try to just do yourself a favor and go be the player you want to be. You'll make all the endorsements everywhere. This is the 2024. It's not like the 1990s where you need to stay in New York because it's the Big Apple Media Center. No, you can be on the moon making commercials. Nobody cares. So just go out and get your bag, kid. You're on mute.
There you go. Thank you. I'm gonna wrap it up. Just basically not really echoing, but kind of echoing what you guys have said, because you guys said it so perfectly. I mean, like, there's these running backs. I was trying to pull up a list, but the ads got in the way. We had Christian McCaffrey over 16 mil. We got Alvin Kamara over 15 mil. We got Jonathan Taylor over 14 mil. You go out there, Barkley. You go be one of the top 3 because you damn deserve it.
He's gonna get Jonathan Taylor type money. That's what he's gonna look for.
Yeah, there's no way that this organization at the current state that we're in can afford you and we really wrecked you like Max said. I'm a big Barkley fan. I have his jersey. Screamed at the top of my lungs when Baker Mayfield was selected first because I knew we had the opportunity and we did select him. He was my favorite player coming out of Penn State that year. When I meant to say favorite player in the draft, you guys get the gist. That being said, though, go out there, get your money, and you guys said wonderful points. So shout out to Barkley, and go and go compete with another team and hope for the best. You know what I'm saying? And as for the New York Giants, yes, you're absolutely right, Adam. I believe we are going to be a running back by committee. We are running back by a committee when we won both Super Bowls in the early 2000s and even before that as well. Moving on.
Just quickly make a point about that. I don't want to diminish the talent that he is because running back by committee is going to be a struggle for the Giants, right? You don't have the same dynamic player. So you're going to be relying on whomever the quarterback is. When if it's number 8, we're probably screwed, right? So the point is I don't want to diminish the fact that he was a good talent and he deserves to be here. But I think for his career, he needs to move on. I just wanted to say that. I just don't want to make it – just don't want to, make it seem like we don't need the running back. We do, but it's time for him to go. Sorry.
I think so too. I mean, like if we draft a running back, say in the 5th round or something like that, and he competes and they all compete, right? If a running back deservedly so earns his snaps, he can still be a gist where a running back can go out and become a star on this team. We never know what could happen. You know what I'm saying?
They can sign a free agent
Everything,
back as well.
Absolutely. Anything is possible. Any last thoughts before we move on, Mac?
Like I said, I just really want to see him go on and have a successful career and have some success somewhere. And I don't think that's going to happen here with the New York Giants, regardless. And I stand by what I said. He deserves better than what we provided for him here. I just feel like he's just like a very, very dynamic player that people are just looking to scapegoat and make it seem like he's actually a part of the New York Giants' problems when he's been about the only damn thing that's made the New York Giants even somewhat watchable
He's far from
in
the
last
problem.
few years. So it's just ridiculous the way people speak of him as if, he was some kind of mistake to draft. Like, what the hell was you going to do? You drafted the best at the time, and that draft in 2020, what was it, 2018, 2018, he was the top player in the damn draft. New York Giants picked the best player pretty much on pretty much everybody's big board in the draft that year.
I mean,
it was Saquon Barkley.
You could argue the Commanders could do that. Okay. Could do that with Marvin Harrison. He's technically the second best player, right? If they do that, and it goes on to be a big deal for, let's say, they Sam Howell or something like that, will you remember it? It's kind of you bring up a great point. Like he was the best player in the draft, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Isn't that what we're trying to do? Get best players.
Yep, he's hands down the best players in the draft. He was the best player.
Sorry, cut you off, Mac. I didn't mean to cut you off. Your point connected the point with the Washington. If they did that, I'm not saying it would be right. But it wouldn't be the craziest thing to think that they rated him the second highest on the board. So I like that kid in the 4th round from Notre Dame. He's a beast, Joe. Guy's a bull.
There we go. Another name you guys can
or Frank Gore. Frank Gore Jr. He's a solid back. I mean, look, the running back position got devalued because the running backs come off the field now, okay? Marshall Faulk said it best and presented it to me. He said the reason why the running backs get paid less, it's their fault. They're the ones coming out after the one play or after 2 plays. And so he said, me in my day, I stayed in because the guy behind me is going to take my job and I never wanted to leave, hence why we got paid so much money. Adrian Peterson comes to mind when you talk about getting paid. He did everything. He was out of the backfield and all that stuff. The reason you're not getting paid, I believe – and the way they are is because they don't have bell cow back. Why do you think Josh Jacobs is getting money? Because he's on the field all 3 downs. So it's Christian McCaffrey. He gets money. He's on the field all 3 downs. If you really want to start to get money, those guys really need to start to play more snaps and, continue to produce more snaps. I know that they get injured and have longevity and all this stuff, but Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Gale said, we've had running backs ran this league for years. Okay, and running games do matter. And what we need to start to realize is that if you do what the 49ers did and you find a Christian McCaffrey, That's what you need to look for in a running back now. An all-purpose, do-it-all back that's going to be on the field 3 downs. And then you'll start to get your millions of dollars because they're going to say, well, I'm on field on 3rd down, I'm on short down, I pick up blitzes, you know what I mean? And you're basically almost a 4-down back. You're going to get paid like it. That's why he's the highest paid player. So maybe that's a correlation to why they're not getting paid. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Well said, well said, well said. What's up, No Mets? What's up? Thank you for joining us. And what's up, Miz? Thank you for joining us as well. Let's get it. Salutes to you both. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, happy Friday night. Adam brought up a fire point on that. And to move on to the next subject, and we all agree. We all agree that, Barkley deservedly so of the money. I think what hurt him is the injuries and also the New York Giants being a terrible organization at times. With that being said, we're diverse. We're going to talk about for a little bit before we get into the Elimination Chamber and talk about wrestling. We'll talk about the NBA. They're back from their All-Star break. They're in full swing. There's a couple of trades that happen. Probably not going to cover that trades here in this episode. All I know is I haven't really been following that much on the Miami Heat because of the All-Star break. I know we had Bam of an All-Star. Shout out to him for making it. Didn't get a chance to watch the dunk contest because the UFC was going on at the same time. So I kind of missed the majority of the weekend.
You missed absolutely nothing.
But
You missed nothing.
What we didn't miss, Mac, as I had to go and I had to watch a little bit of highlights. I kind of mostly missed it. But we missed a back-to-back champion, Mac. Back-to-back champion in Mac. I'm not even going to try to slaughter that. I'm going to pass it over to Adam, and I'm gonna have him host this section. So, Adam, what's your thoughts on Mac winning back-to-back?
Well, this is a fun time. NBA, but this is a fun time of year, the dunk contest. I know, our angel from above will be looking down and love this game, slam dunk contest. And 3-point contest. They're doing a lot of other fun skill things. I mean, I remember growing up when the All-Stars actually played in the dunk contest and they actually did dunks. But now it's odd is when you watch the 3-point contest, everybody's a star. Everybody's out there as a star. You've got guys who get paid millions of dollars. Then you go to the dunk contest, and I've got guys in the G League dunking in a basketball game. It is insane. Now, mind you, folks, last week we talked about the dunk contest, right? We went over all the participants in the dunk contest. This guy wasn't even on the marquee. It
was like a WWE moment. He was a special guest.
They hit his music. He came through the ring. He kicked the door down, and here he comes back. But before we do that, I didn't watch the skills competition. I'm not really interested. I'm more of a 3-point guy and a dunk contest guy. The 3-point contest, how can I bet? If I bet against Mahomes, I can't bet against Dame Dollar, okay? Because that guy is not only is a decent rapper,
back to back too, huh?
But he has defended his championship in the 3-point contest. And man, what fun it was for him. I didn't think he was going to do it, but he got up there, cool as a cucumber, just draining threes like it was his job, making it look easy, even when there was a little adversity.
It is his job, Adam. He's a basketball player.
Well, you're right. It is his job. But you know what I'm saying? It was like a real, he these guys care about it. They want to win. They want to be the champion.
Absolutely.
And that's what you used to see in the dunk contest. That's what I'm saying. It's more creative now. It's like centered around the three-point shot now. Right back when me and Matt grew up, it was centered around the dunk contest, right? That's what you did. They had the 3-point contest, but it wasn't like it is now. They didn't have a Sprite 4-point, 3-point basketball shot, none of that stuff. And it was creative. But enough with the 3-point contest. Let's get to the main event. So the main event to me was kind of interesting because first off, like I said, Mac came in, the little Mac guy, Mac McCullen. I think that's his name. And he. First off, like I said, we did the show last week. He wasn't even on the marquee. So I'm sitting here watching the thing. I'm like, oh, my God, he's in the dunk contest. Find out that he's in the G League. Did not know you could be in the dunk contest in the G League. So, you had Jaylen Brown there. He did pretty well. The guy from Miami, I think it was Miami Heat, Javier, he was okay. I don't think he understood the moment. He wasn't really he's probably a better in-game dunker than he is dunk contest dunker. Sometimes you need to be a little bit more flexible. I thought Jaylen Brown had some great dunks, but they were fierce. They were powerful. They were angry. If it was an older dunk contest, he would have probably won. But new day and age. But There were some dunks this kid did, Mac, that I thought should have got a 50. The dunk where he basically jumps over a guy, drops the ball in the air, double clutches, and then dunks it behind him, I thought was an easy 50 dunk. I've never seen it before, and you got to take into consideration how tall that guy is. He's only like 6'2", right? So to be able to jump over Shaq and do that move over a 7-foot man, mind you, the guy Javier tried to dunk over a guy too, and he pushed off, and he was a lot taller than this guy. This guy cleared Shaq, people, okay, and dropped the ball in the air and then dunked it. I was like, oh, you know what it is? Is he's in the G League. Nobody knows who he is, so the crowd's not like, oh, super hyped. But I thought it was fun. Way to defend your crown, kid. He had some good dunks. I don't know if he'll come back and defend it the third time. I mean, that might
Triple
be
crown champ.
But dude, I saw some things I didn't see before in my life, and he did a dunk I've never seen in my life over a 7-foot man. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. We have to turn it over to Mac. I don't know if you watched it. It's a lot of things you could forget about, but we have to give him some space too. Anything you want to say about the NBA before we move on?
I mean, I love you, Adam. You're a lot more generous than I am, brother. You're a lot more generous than I am, my friend. I all due respect. I respect your opinion, but I'm on the complete opposite wavelength. Look. This is the disgrace to the NBA that this kid from the G League has now 2 years in a row come up and won the dunk contest on All-Star Weekend. A kid from the G League, a guy that's not even good enough to make an NBA roster. Not even good enough to make an NBA roster.
I thought it was fun.
Has now 2 years in a row. And no, I'm not saying he didn't deserve to win, because he definitely deserved to win. To me,
yes,
he
did.
put on probably the best dunks, I guess, that we did see on that night. And you're right. That first dunk in the first round, when he double clutched, that he got lowballed on that dunk. They gypped that kid on that dunk for real. I'm not sure if it was quite a 50, but it should have been definitely a lot higher than when he scored on that dunk. I definitely do remember that moment of the contest, and I was just like, you just gave all these other guys. You just gave all these high 40s, and you just gave him the lowest score of the first round.
Right. It's like
he probably had easily the best dunk of the first round.
Dude, if you go back and watch it in slow motion, that's what makes you appreciate what he did. You're like, oh, okay, I see it now.
But, yeah, this is absolutely terrible. I'm sorry. I wasn't feeling Jaylen Brown. I don't even know how he made it to the finals. I think Obi Toppin's brother probably should have made it to the finals at the very least. With Mac, I believe the judging the scoring was all over the place. Dominique Wilkins, you are the human highlight reel, my man. What the hell were you looking at? These guys were not on your level of dunking when you were doing dunk contests. None of these guys were on your level of the things that you were doing back in the 80s. The 80s. This is 2024. This is 2024. Dominique Wilkins, my man, he's judging all those judges, man. They were just, how was every dunk getting scored in the high 40s? Those were not all high 40 dunks. You had to earn those scores back in the day. You had to earn scores like that back in the day. Now we just giving them out all willy-nilly? Like, come on. Give me a break. This dunk contest to me was terrible. I wasn't feeling it at all. I wasn't feeling it at all. Now, the 3-point contest, yeah, it is what it is. I kind of don't mind how they add a couple little different wrinkles to spice it up a little bit. I like to see some of these guys come out there, and you see at least a lot more stars still participating in the 3-point contest. So that always makes it a little more interesting, man. Shout out Dame Lillard defending his title. It was a great 3-point contest. You saw a lot of good shooting going on amongst that field, man. And I believe Coach set it up in the comments earlier. That Steph and Sabrina, that was absolute gas. They battled it, man. She made him earn it. She made Steph earn that title, man. He had to work hard for it. So
he didn't hate the event.
Her,
you didn't hate the event entirely. You just hated the dunk contest.
No, I hated the dunk contest, and that was my because the show started off the skills competition. To me, that was also fun. That was fun, great competition to watch. You know, especially between the Pacers and the Pacer guys and the first what was the 3 teams? The first overall picks and whatever. I can't remember what the other team was, but it was still a fun competition. You know, that was fun to watch. It was enjoyable. Started to show off really good. You know what I mean? Got the energy up. 3-point contest. You know, like I said, it was good. The Sabrina Steph, great. But then we just got this dunk contest, man. I'm sorry, my man Mac, he deserved to win by far. Like I said, he definitely deserved the W. But there's no way this is going down as any kind of competition for me. Like I said, I think I do appreciate watching the shorter guys do the dunks. They look more dynamic in a dunk contest when you see the shorter guys do it. It looks a lot more effortless with the taller guys. I kind of wouldn't mind getting back to seeing some more guards and stuff like that participating in the dunk contest. Like, I mean, it's just I don't know, man. I grew up watching Jordan and Dominique Wilkins and guys and Kenny Skywalkers and guys like and
I had Vince Carter.
I'm just not feeling. Yeah, I mean Vince. I saw Vince Carter, all them too. I mean, Isaiah Ryder, whatever. Like this is.
Oh my God, those were great.
I can go on and on. I mean, the Harold Miners of the world. I mean, great dunkers, man. I mean, I even got to see Kobe his rookie season come out there and win the dunk contest. You know what I mean? This is
Kobe.
This now, man. They got to figure it out and they got to do better. They had to do better and figure out a way to get to pump this dunk contest up, man. They got to. Man. Spud Webb, another great one.
My question is why do they get the stars for the 3-point contest, but no stars for the dunk contest? I don't understand. When that's your marquee event, wouldn't you want your marquee players in there? I get injury and everything like that, but these guys dunk for a living. It's not like we're asking them to do, go cook hibachi grill or something like that. Like, no, they dunk all the time. They practice these dunks in practice when they're bored. When hey man, let me do this, and they do it off the backboard and all this crazy crap. We hear about it all the time. So why can't they do something to incentivize this? You know what I mean? Like make it an East versus West thing. If a West team member wins, that conference gets home court event. Do something where or make the prize. I mean, I don't know, but bring the stars back to what we need them to be, and that's in the dunk contest. I think the NBA is catering too much to the 3-point contest because of guys like Steph Curry. And that this era of basketball that we're in, it's more of a shooter game where people don't want to dunk on people anymore the same way that we had. We had dunkers. We had people like Jordan and Carter who wanted to posterize you, who absolutely wanted to embarrass you and finish at the rim. I mean, there are guys now who can dunk, and I've seen some glorious dunks, but when I was growing up, the guy going to the rim, you were getting and one and the foul. Like Kenyon Martin, badass yellow boy, that guy was dunking on top of you, guys like that. We need those type of guys back in even when Blake Griffin was in the dunk contest, he was a star. You know what I mean? He was a rising star. Like the NBA Rookie of the Year. He was, a good player, and he was in the dunk contest. Bring guys back. Don't bring booties off the street and hope that like a G Leaguer should never win your sport. That is a poor indictment on your organization. At least he was on a team last year, though. So I'll give you credit for that. He was at least on a team. This year, you're pulling him from the G League. Say, hey, kid, come up here for 3 seconds, win the dunk contest, see you back down to the G League, right? Like, he's not going to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see a star. What I wanted to see is LeBron James in the dunk contest. At one point in his career, I wanted to see him. Not anymore. He's too old. He probably wouldn't. He probably could still dunk, but I don't know if he'd have the hops that we'd be looking for like his younger days. But guys like that I need to see. I want to see that. We don't, and that's what the NBA has missed is the star power. Like you were just talking about 3-pointers, like Damian Lillard, freaking who else is it? Trae Young. I think it's in Jaylen Brown, not Jaylen Brown. Someone else was in there.
No, the kid from the Pacers. The Pacers is in.
Yes.
Went right from the skills competition right to the 3-point competition.
Exactly. So you had a lot of stars.
What's
I forgot what his name is. There were so many good participants in the contest that it's like, why can't you put that same effort?
Was it Tyrese?
Yes, I think it was their star player, the point guard or their.
I would say though, Adam and Mac made great points. I didn't want to just take the mic. I don't know if you was done there, Adam, but You're right. I think the purpose is, like obviously they want to get a new fan base in, but when you have like a G League guy coming up and defending this title, because I think what it is that they're scared of the Lucas of the world, the store players going for these risky dunks, would you say, and then getting hurt. Yeah, they're okay with them playing a scrimmage basketball game where they're putting up 200 points because there's no defense. But at the end of the day, like when you see some of these guys going for some of these amazing dunks, I think back in the day it was Max said it perfectly. It was a much more physical game. That nowadays it's like the physicality is even taking them to looking at these store players and they're like, oh, we don't even want to risk it.
I've
You
got
know
it.
what I'm saying? So.
I've got the idea. Here's what you do, right?
Mhm.
You eliminate the dunk contest from day one. You put the dunk contest within the All-Star game because they're already giving you a show anyways, and they're
Yes.
not playing, right? So
Yes.
what you could do is have a little fun with it and put like the best dunk wins or some type of
Yeah,
shit
absolutely.
within the All-Star game because they're going 100 points a game. They're throwing alley-oops and shit. Why
That's
not
what I was gonna say
just put
because
it into the game itself?
there's a lot of I didn't really watch this year's game, but I know a lot of past games. There's been a lot of fun dunk moments in the All-Star game, and maybe we have the. I do want to say I do love the LED court. I know that can be a distraction at times, but I just do love the future of technology and seeing. Obviously, that's not going to get implemented with a regular base game, but for them to implement it in skill competitions and
That'll do that shit. Just
in
give it
dunk
regular
contests
hard
and stuff
floor.
like that. They do have the ruffle time button where you can press. So yeah, if you see
It's just an
any
endorsement.
creativities, alley hoops, there should be some kind of best move of the game, and then you don't drag it on with a dunk competition where you have to bring in a G leaguer to defend his club.
Well, you could
Should
do
I say?
something within the game, right? They
Mm-hmm.
have like All-Star MVP, and then maybe
Mm-hmm.
you have most creative dunk in the game or some shit where you're still getting the same dunk element, but you're not wasting my time with guys from the G League winning because you're too lazy. You're too lazy to pay your guys extra money to come in and do it. But meanwhile, if you watch the All-Star game, there's no defense. It's not really that exciting, and they're doing alley oops and dunks and 3-point shots from all over the place. Maybe incentivize it like that and have the fun. Eliminate it from All Star Saturday. Make the marquee event the 3-point contest. It's long. You can drag it out. You can do whatever you want with it. You can add more to the field and make it a round robin type of thing and bring in more shooters, right? And really expand the field. And make it, like I said, a round robin tournament like they do towards the end. I think that would be exciting, right? And then you eliminate the dunk contest, and then in the All Star game, boom, you'll have a new category, a new trophy, the Dr. J Dunk Contest trophy or whatever you want to call it. The NBA likes to put legends on every trophy, so we'll call it the Dr. J Slam Dunk Award, and it'll go for the best slam dunk in the game, which will be voted on by the fans watching the game. So you're interacting in the game, and these guys get to showcase some dunks, and you get to, boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should go. I just solved the NBA's problem. Boom.
I love that, and I would want to say too, like as you were saying that, to I don't know if they already do this because, like I said, I didn't really watch this year's competition. Too busy with that UFC event. But that being said, I mean, like, still have the 3-point shot as the more key event. Take out the dunk competition, add in a game of horse, a horse tournament maybe, and
There you go.
within that horse tournament, then you can get one trick shot. So you want to bring in the athlete and dunk over the athlete, and everybody else has to go dunk over the athlete.
That's
and
an
you go.
idea.
Bring in a game of horse, because I would say a game of 21, but they don't want the athletes getting hurt, and I don't think these players will try. Maybe they'll try for pride, but at the end of the day, a game of horse would be a nice little way to settle eliminating the dunk contest. Alrighty, guys. Anything else before we move on?
Nope.
Alrighty. I know we have a lot of football talk. We're probably gonna end the show with, guys, but we're gonna touch on the elimination chamber, being that it's one of our main topics of the night. And it is taking place, I believe, in like 7 hours. I say we go match for match, and within going match for match, anything you guys want to say about the elimination chamber, I say just say it within the match. Starting with this one, I guess we'll start with, and then of course, if you guys want to say anything else, please take the mic and say it. But we got this tag team, the Judgment Day, going against. I totally forgot these guys' names. We got Pete and we got Taylor. I remember him has with Sheamus, but that's a long time ago. But that being said, I want to get the boys' opinion on this elimination chamber tag team championships, defending it. Does Judgment Day come out on top? Do they lose the championship? Whoever wants to start it, go right ahead.
This will be a fun tag team title match over there in Australia. Give the fans over there a good match. You need 4 really good workers in the ring. Judgment Day is absolutely coming out of this with their title. They're not going over there dropping their titles right now. They're definitely going to carry those to WrestleMania. That's you can book that for sure. But this is also a good opportunity for Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, man, because Pete Dunne has kind of been on the main roster for a little while now, spinning his wheels a little bit. They had changed his whole character, changed his name out. He was known as Butch for quite some time. He had been known as Butch for quite some time. Little just like crazy unhinged character, and that's just nothing like the Pete Dunne that people always had grew up to know. Him watching him in the ring, he's always been this cerebral, just really very focused and serious guy, and that character just kind of never really worked for me with him anyway. So I'm glad they went back to his original character, Pete Dunne, and teaming up with a good friend of his. I mean, these guys came up in the ranks together. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, they challenged each other for the first ever NXT UK champion. As a matter of fact, some years ago. It was the finals came down to these two right here, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Man, it was a great match. And these guys they go back some time, so they have great chemistry together in the ring. It'll be a good match. It'll give these guys an opportunity to look really good, look strong, and just hopefully continue to move their push their careers forward, man, on the main roster. But Judgment Day is absolutely going to retain their titles here.
Lovely, well said, and I love that backstory, giving you some information, guys. Make sure you guys go check Mac. He'll be live again in 7 hours, 5 a.m. Calling it. Let's get a shout out to Mac. Right on to you, Adam. What's your thoughts on this matchup?
Should be fun, like you said. I think this match is one of those matches that pushes Pete Dunne and what's his other guy? I'm sorry, I missed his name. His partner, Pete Dunne's partner,
Tyler Bate.
I think what this is going to Tyler Bate, thanks. I think what this is going to do is hopefully get them to WrestleMania. You know what I mean? We need a good storyline going in. You need someone to chase for the tag team titles. This will be a chance for them to showcase on a pay-per-view stage what they can bring. And then maybe as the road to WrestleMania continues, maybe this will build up and maybe they will be in the main event picture at WrestleMania for those titles. Because I do believe what's happening with Damian Priest and Finn Balor is those guys should be champions, but usually you give guys who should be champions the belt, and that's what's happening here. I don't know when Damian's going to cash in his money. Could be any time. Maybe it's tomorrow night. Who knows? Could be a thing going into WrestleMania. But I just think Max Wright Judgment Day is very hot right now. I didn't think they were going to be this good. And ever since Edge kind of propped them up and brought them in, they've been on fire. And these two have been pretty good together. So they're going to retain.
Yeah, I will say this. Like, I was a big fan of Finn Balor. I didn't really wasn't really a big fan of his demon mode. I did like it, but I just was a fan of him as a regular wrestler. When he used to come out to his theme music, he used to go like that. The whole crowd used to move like they got main event. Jey Uso's moving the crowd right now. And I would say I didn't really care about Damian Priest. And I have to be honest, Judgment Day came around and I care about Damian Priest. I'm absolutely a fan of Damian Priest. And I love this new look for Finn Balor. So shout out to the Judgment Day. And I think the boys are right. There's no way that they're losing the title right now, especially with the state of Judgment Day just being on top in the WWE and kind of a solid faction, unlike the other faction that's going on that's breaking apart. But that being said, good job on that, boys. Let's move on. No, that's not. I mean, like, we don't really need to talk about this, but if you guys want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But I wanted to get into this. This is what I wanted to get into. Yes. So we got six superstars that I think that suddenly earn their place in this match. Obviously, there's some major storylines that could go down to the wire in this match, and the winner of this match obviously is going to WrestleMania and to compete against Seth Rollins. So I'm going to turn it over to, let's go with Adam first and then pass it over to Mac. Talk about each one of these superstars. Who do you think wins the match and why do they win the match? And just give your overall thoughts on the match.
Well, it's a lot. When you look at the card now, there's a lot of guys since that title spots up for grabs in terms of opponents. I could see the big three in the front winning, right? Kevin Owens is in there. He deserves a title shot. Logan Paul does not deserve a title shot. I don't believe he's earned that. I think he is a good in-ring worker, but, defend your own title first. Okay, like get through your title reign. For LA Knight deserves to be there. Randy Orton, a legend. I don't know what they're doing with him. It's kind of ironic. I thought about it today. He got overshadowed by CM Punk, but CM Punk now gets injured, so now Randy Orton's back in the forefront where he deserves to be. So he'll kind of get his run now. But I don't know if he'll be in the main event. He deserves to be. Bobby Lashley definitely deserves to be. But I think what's going to happen is Drew McIntyre is going to be the winner of the men's Elimination Chamber match. He deserves to be there. He deserves to win it. I just think he's held the company on his back. He's been a company man. He's cut great promos. He's carried the company when nobody else was there, and I think he deserves his chance to get a WrestleMania moment. And I would love to see him do it at WrestleMania.
I love that take. Back over to you, Mac.
Yeah, this match here, man. This match is I'm liking it because it's so many different things we're going to get out of this match. I think there's a lot of things that development for WrestleMania are going to come through this match. 100% agree. Drew McIntyre. I think this is Drew McIntyre's Elimination Chamber to win. They've been building that story with him and Rollins for so long. It's been building and building and building. And where better to put a bow on that story than WrestleMania? And as far as like Logan Paul, this is to me. WWE, man, you need to really cut the shit out, man. Logan Paul should be defending that United States title in front of that Australian crowd instead of being in this Elimination Chamber match. But either way, he's in it. He's definitely, there's no chance in hell that he's walking out of there winning this match. But what I can see developing in this match is him and LA Knight.
Yep, I was just about
building
to say
the rivalry headed towards WrestleMania. I could see something like that happening. I could even see potentially Kevin Owens getting in that mix and potentially getting a triple threat for that title at WrestleMania, for the United States title at WrestleMania. So I can see these things all happening, and I think that'll be really good pushing forward for gearing towards WrestleMania, man. But I think this is definitely Drew McIntyre's Elimination Chamber to win, unless they go in the direction of giving it to the old guy, man, Randy Orton. But I mean, Bobby Lashley, he's in there, he'll compete. But I don't see them right now giving him this opportunity at this moment because he's just not really invested in any kind of storyline connected to the title in any way at all, shape or form. I mean, but he's in this match, he'll do what he's there to be a professional. But yeah, pretty much. But I see Drew, like you said, Drew McIntyre winning this one all the way, man. They've been really building that story up, and it's going to come to a close at WrestleMania between him and Rollins, man. But like I said, for anybody else other than Drew McIntyre, I would probably go the direction of Randy Orton just because he's Randy Orton. I mean, no other reason. He's Randy Orton.
If Randy Orton wins, it's no surprise, right? But I think if they do that and Drew McIntyre gets screwed, it's because Drew McIntyre is leaving the company and he decides, he doesn't like the direction of the story and he wants to be out. If he wins the match, then I think he goes on to WrestleMania and gets his moment. There are rumors about that. So we'll see. But I don't think anybody in that – I think, like I said, the three guys in the front are main eventers at WrestleMania. The other three guys, I think Kevin Owens are going to have their own beef.
Absolutely love it. I agree with most of what you guys said, and as far as Logan Paul, I think just put in some time, put in some 5, maybe in 5 or 10 years. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Maybe in 5 or 10 years, you can go on the main event WrestleMania and go on to do those kind of things. But you're looking at this other 5 competitors that literally this is their life, and not to take anything away from Bobby Lashley and Kevin Owens, but I just don't think right now it's the storylines are leading up. Like you guys say, Bobby Lashley just looks like a body, like Max said, and with Kevin Owens, yeah, perfectly said. I could see the development of another, match, maybe a triple threat going down a little on in the future. The three guys that I had looking at the winners was LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton. And you guys said it perfectly. I was leaning more towards LA Knight and more towards Randy Orton, but it does set it up. It does set it up, and who not to give the title or to get an opportunity to the title, being Drew McIntyre, that literally carried the company during its COVID years, some of the hardest years in the industry. But not only that, just like the guy is just, even when he's a bad guy, the crowd cheers for him. The guy's just a crowd favorite, you know what I'm saying? Fan favorite. And absolutely could see
He's
a
over
regime
in the
here.
business. That's what they call it.
Yeah, it's
He's
over.
over.
Exactly. Could see a regime here where we have, as much as I respect Seth, but who knows? At the same time, next year, well, maybe not, but you could have Cody and Drew as champions. Who knows? Moving on, guys. I thought this was going to be easy to select these tabs. I have to go down the whole article. We'll talk about this one. I'm gonna just start it off. I honestly think all of these women, deservedly deserve to be in this match. I don't really know that much about Tiffany, I believe her name is, but we got Liv Morgan, been in the business for a long time, changed was in a couple of tag teams. I'm not going to give the whole history like my man Matt Canner, like a homie up above Jeff did all the time. You know what I'm saying? RIP to Jeff, man. He was such a big wrestling fanatic. But that being said, we have my Naomi making her comeback at Royal Rumble, appearing in the match. We have Raquel. I believe she, as for Raquel, like she's becoming her own. You know what I'm saying? I respect what she does. But for me personally, as a casual fan, like there's only two women in this match, and maybe Liv as a dark horse, but it has to go to Bianca. Or it has to go to the man. Just in my opinion, I just think that they're the face right now of women's outside of a certain other few superstars. But you got the man, you got Bianca Belair. This is a good storyline. I think we'll talk about Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley probably to wrap this thing up. But at the end of the day, one of these women will face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, and I do believe it's probably going to be Bianca. Could be the man, but I'm going to go with Bianca. I'm a casual, but I want to see what the boys have to say because they watch it more than I do. So let's start with who went first next. We'll go with Adam, I think, this time because I think Mac.
Well, the women's match is going to be interesting. The women are doing what the men are doing in wrestling. You don't normally see them in these type of matches, so it's good for them for getting that evolution going. Raquel Rodriguez is my dark horse. I don't think she's going to win, but she does have some history with Rhea Ripley. There is a storyline there. Bianca Bell, Naomi, nothing. She's back. She gives a pop. She's just going to be in the match she deserves to be in the match, but she's not winning it. The new girl behind her, Tiffany Stratton, while she's good in NXT, she's at the back of the line. She has to work her way up. That leaves us with Bianca, who I don't think this is her destiny. I don't think Rhea Ripley is her. I just don't think she's had her time. And what sells at WrestleMania? Marquee events. Well, guess what? That's the mom. Okay, she's coming to WrestleMania because Rhea Ripley has never faced Becky Lynch, and I think it would be a good story. Now, there could be Becky Lynch does have history with Nia Jax, so if Nia Jax does happen to win, you could always do that. But I don't think that sells to me the same way as Rhea Ripley versus the man. I don't know what your thoughts are, Mac, but that's what my thoughts are. Tudo,
what's up, Tudo, man? How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping in, brother.
Thanks for coming out.
All right, here's a rundown, man. Okay, Tiffany Stratton, this is a great opportunity for this young lady. She really did shine in NXT, deservedly so, got the call up on the main roster, and she's thrust immediately into a huge matchup like this. But obviously, like you just said, it's not her time yet. She's got still way more dues to pay. But she'll definitely be on her way. She'll be one of the top females going forward, man, in this company. You're going to definitely see that for sure. But this right now for Bianca Belair, I think other things are in the plans for her at WrestleMania. I just don't see her coming out of this on top. Naomi, good to be back. She's in here to kind of help provide some of the big moments, some of the big spots in this match. The
Bless
big
you,
kind
man.
of spots you need, the big wow moments. She's here to provide some of those. She's pretty much the most probably her between her, I mean, Tiffany and Bianca. They're pretty much the most athletic, pure athletic females in this match. They're the ones that's there to provide the
I
wow
forgot Liv
moments, the
Morgan.
wow, the kind of the wow. And uh, and Raquel just came back this week. Came back out on Raw, won the last chance battle royal to get her spot in this match. Yeah, definitely another future star, but right now, still also not quite her moment. Right now, her time. She's not gonna go to WrestleMania and main event WrestleMania. Not that time yet. Now it leads us to two: Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch. One of these two are definitely winning this match. Stories have been built already with these women towards Rhea Ripley. Obviously, Liv Morgan just returning at the Royal Rumble after being out for about good almost 6 months or so due to an injury sustained by Rhea Ripley, who put her on the shelf. Rhea Ripley took her out on the episode on Monday Night Raw. Liv
Interesting.
Morgan had all that time, to get and come back. So that story's been definitely building for a long time. And then Becky Lynch has been dropping hints that she wants to face Rhea Ripley, and like you said, also has history with Nia Jax. So however that title match ends up going, which pretty sure it's still going to be on, that title's going to still be on Rhea Ripley, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But Becky Lynch has history with either one of those two ladies, so you can see that kind of going that way. But Becky Lynch has had had her big WrestleMania moments. This is an opportunity. I mean, if they really want to go in that direction to
Ask George.
allow Liv Morgan to have that moment. She battled back. She's been right on the verge of winning the Royal Rumble the last 2 years straight. Has been right down there at the wire in the Royal Rumble, the runner up. Matter of fact, the runner up for the last 2 years straight. And so she's right. She's been right there on the cusp. I mean, of greatness, of reaching greatness. So this could be her moment. And actually, I think I do. I'm going that way with it. I think Liv Morgan wins this chamber tomorrow morning,
Wow.
and she goes on to face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania.
I love that. We got the man, we got Liv. I love that. Brian, thank you for being here. But people can vote for whoever they want to vote for. We put up your comment on screen. But we appreciate you, my man. Thank you for stopping by. Let's move on to probably the last match. I mean, like obviously we have the Kabuki Warriors taking on Candice and Indy. You guys want to talk about that real
Nope.
fast? Okay. Let's talk about Rhea Ripley, mommy versus a member of the bloodline. Apparently, I just found that out the other week. You got Nia Jax, Roman Reigns, I believe cousin, a second cousin, or something like that. Anyways, Mac, begin. Let's get it.
Yeah, no doubt. First off, too though, yeah, I'm gonna definitely. I'll pray for your victims, man, for sure, man. No doubt, man. But this match here, man, this could be a fun one, man. I'm not a fan of Nia Jax. I'm really not. I'm just not. Just don't really like what she does in the ring. I feel like she's just a botch waiting to happen, and she just does. She's injured too many other females. I'm surprised people even want to still work with her at this point. Maybe she's gotten a little bit better, and maybe because she kind of does look a little better just since she's been back. But there's no way in the world you can convince me that WWE would do Rhea Ripley this service of going to her home country as the champion for the first time as the champion and drop her title to Nia Jax. That would be a slap in the face of Rhea Ripley's entire title run. It would just be a slap in the face to her. I mean, this is a chance to let her go and really show off to her home crowd, her countrymen, and let them just see everything she's accomplished, in her WWE journey, man, and really cement that and really put on the show for them. And let's face it, Rhea Ripley is just flat out the better competitor. Do you really want to see Nia Jax at WrestleMania headline at WrestleMania? I don't. I'd
Nope.
rather see Rhea Ripley headline at WrestleMania. I mean, that's what it comes down to me. Also, Rhea Ripley has to win this, has to defend this title here, has to win this match. Plus, Nia Jax has kind of been one upping her the entire build of this match. Nia Jax has been one up in Rhea Ripley the whole entire way. This is now when Rhea Ripley finally gets hers and finally puts an end to Nia Jax. Because this is the way the whole build of the match has been. It's been totally one-sided in Nia Jax's favor. To be quite frankly, she has dominated the entire build-up right to this point. She's left Rhea Ripley laying on several occasions
Wow.
over the last several weeks. So I think this is when it's time for Rhea Ripley to finally, let her know who's boss pretty much, and go ahead and defend that title and look strong in front of her home country, man, over there in Australia, man. So it's definitely got to be Rhea Ripley winning this and going to WrestleMania as the champion.
Oh, me? All right. I didn't know if you're calling my name or if I was being going. All right. Well,
I've been selected.
So yes. Ding, wake up, asshole. You know what I mean? But Nia Jax, nobody really cares about. She's coming back. She's being the monster that she is. But two people have already stopped her, almost three, and that's Bianca, that's Jay Cargill, and that's Rhea Ripley. And I've loved the evolution of Rhea Ripley. She won a championship out the gate when she was young, lost it to Charlotte Flair early on. I think it was the Raw Women's title or something like that. And I think when she hit rock bottom from that kind of fall from grace, she built herself up in NXT, kept winning championships there, and then came back to the main event roster and kind of got in a quagmire. Then again, Edge comes out, makes Judgment Day, brings her out, and she just took the bull by the horns and flourished. And I love her character. She's one of my favorite women wrestlers. She's one of my favorite women wrestlers. I'm excited when she comes out because I know good shit's going to happen. She's a great wrestler. She puts her heart and soul into it. You can tell. That's why the fans are behind her, right? Even if she is an asshole, everybody loves her. They absolutely do. She's what they call over in the business. She's going to be a person that whenever she does lose the title, I don't think she will, even at WrestleMania. But when she does drop the strap, she can come back and be that vigilante that we like. I think that character fits her. And I just think she's a draw right now. She's the box office. She really has done the other championship that is on Io Sky is kind of secondary. It's Io Sky, right? It's that she's not great on the mic. The championship's kind of quagmired with Asuka and the Kabuki Warriors, kind of that little triangle. So it doesn't have the luster that this one does. Rhea Ripley's been mauling opponents, and I think it happens again. They're not going to do that in her hometown, her home country. They're going to want to pop. They're going to want to see how raucous this team goes. And she's fired up. I watched the press conference show this afternoon, that build-up show that they're doing now, which is part of WWE content nowadays, where they hit your music and you come out and talk to the crowd and you kind of build the storyline up. It's good. She's done a great job. She's been a great champion. She's going to go to the Hall of Fame, I feel, with this gimmick. I know she had a long career, and it's early to say, but she's on that Hall of Fame trajectory, and I wish her nothing but the best, and I can't wait to see her at WrestleMania.
That was nicely said, both of you guys. Is there anything else you guys want to say? I think you guys said it perfectly. I do have Rhea Ripley winning this match as well. I think this
Nobody
is
cares
just
about Nia Jax.
Yeah, this is just a body to stack, for her resume.
She's
nothing against Nia.
She does nothing. That woman should be dominating. If this was real life and not scripted, there's definitely not a contest. But she doesn't move the needle. Rhea Ripley is an innovator. She takes it to the net. Every time I watch her match, I'm just like, yo, that's why you deserve the belt. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about WWE or Elimination Chamber related?
No, just good luck, Mac.
Nah, man, just join me tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Eastern
Are you sure it's 5 a.m.?
This Elimination Chamber live. Nah, 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh my Lord, Mac! Yeah, I will. My eyes will be shut. My eyes will be shut. I'll be looking under my eyelids into the dark abyss.
Mac is live in 7 hours. Let's get it.
We need to get him off. We need to get him off soon, people.
Absolutely. We have probably going to touch up the end of the show with things that we're excited to see at the Combine and probably touch on free agency for a little bit. But we're gonna just have a fun subject for about 10 minutes. A topic. Last week we brought to you guys our quarterbacks and our tight ends. So I think a fun topic, just week by week, we just bring position. Remember that one episode where we did do full teams, guys? That was a fun episode as well. But this
We'll
week
do it
we're
again.
bringing you guys wide receivers. Absolutely, we're bringing you guys wide receivers and we're bringing you guys quarterbacks. Now,
This year with that team thing, we might just do players in the NFL.
ooh, that'll be fun too.
Instead of the Hall of Fame players, it makes it a little harder, a little bit more creative.
That absolutely would be fun too. And I want for the audience to give kind of like a rundown. This doesn't have to be necessarily like road breakers or this is just everybody's individually personal's list. So maybe those guys out there that you may grew up watching, so he may not have the numbers, but he may be on your list. So definitely so. This is the boys' list, and this is going to be my list as well. So let's start with probably cornerbacks. I'm going to go first, being that I'll let you guys think and gather your thoughts. For the honorable mentions, I'm going to put Charles Woodson on here as an honorable mention. The only reason why I didn't put Charles Woodson on my list is, to be honest, guys, didn't watch him play that much, and also too, I do have one of the goats on here as well that I didn't watch play, but I just think that this goat, well, what he means for the sport and what he has done, nothing to take anything away from Charles Woodson. I do have Deion Sanders, so I have Deion Sanders as number one. I am a fan of him. I watched a lot of documentaries about him more than I would say Charles Woodson. So I apologize, Charles Woodson. You are honorable mention, but I do have Deion Sanders at number one. At number two, I do have Richard Sherman. I just felt like growing up and watching this guy at quarterbacks was just afraid to throw to his side of the field. That being alone, he was just a shutdown. He was definition basically of a shutdown. So I have Richard Sherman as number two. In his prime, he was amazing. At number three, I have Patrick Peterson. I know the few years he played for the Ops, but at the end of the day, man, Patrick Peterson was a stud. I remember growing up and watching him, and his name was always the one being called by the announcers for a great batted down pass, a great play, and even as he got older, he still held it down. So I have to put Darrell Reevens on my list. Patrick Peterson. I'm sorry. Number four, I'm gonna put Revis. I grew up as a fan of Revis. Just watching him shut down island, believe him on the island. You hear the announcer say that even at his later on in his career, he didn't really have the outstanding, shutdown presence, but and obviously as you get older, you do get embarrassed at times. But at the end of the day, man, this guy in his prime is absolutely a stud. So I got Darrell Revis. And then for my number fifth, is Stephon Gilmore, man. There's a lot of young cornerbacks in the game that I do want to include, like your Ramseys of the world, maybe like your Marcus Peters of the world, and a lot of up and comers like your Alexanders of the world, and things like that nature. But at the end of the day, I'm just going from that more of that 2010s era where that 2004, 2000s to 2010s era where I kind of grew up, watching these guys rather than going for a future nowadays players. So that being said, there's a lot of great players in the league like Sauce Gardner and a lot of players that deservedly so. Maybe they'll make a list one of these days. But for number five, I'm going to go Stephon Gilmore. I think this guy was a stud, and there's a lot of great players in the league today that looked up to him. And what can I say, man? This guy was amazing. So I'll pass it off to whoever wants to take it on. We're going to go cornerbacks, your five top cornerbacks.
All right. Well, I will start with this one's interesting, this player, because I also tend to put him in my safeties category, but I'm going to go with him as a corner. Not number one. Let me put my list in order. So it doesn't necessarily have to be top five, but it's Deion Sanders. You got to give him respect. Darrell Revis is up there as well. Number two, he's pretty good for his age. You don't get Revis Island because you're a bad player. I also like Charles Woodson. I think that Charles Woodson was a phenomenal corner, what he did with the Raiders and also with Green Bay. Eventually moving to free safety at some point in his career. That's usually what you do when you get a little slower. And then I had Rod Woodson. And this is the one that intrigues me the most because I love Rod Woodson. But he could also be a top five safety as well. That's how good he was. He's the only player in NFL history that could basically be top 10, top 5 in both categories in terms of being a safety and being a corner. But I'll take him as my corner. And my last corner I liked, I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame. I believe, actually, the guy, I'm going to trade somebody off my list. Sorry, I'm going to kick somebody off my list here. I know I put in Darrell Revis, but I'm going to take another guy that I liked. I'm going to put in Aeneas Williams. I liked Aeneas Williams a lot. People don't talk about him as much. He's a Hall of Fame corner, shutdown guy who's just no holds bar and no frills. He did his job, played in the Cardinals. I think he won a championship with the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. I think he won with the greatest show on turf. But Aeneas Williams is on there. And then I wanted to put on this guy, Champ Bailey.
Champ Bailey, I like that.
Champ Bailey growing up. I thought he was one of the best corners out there. Loved watching him play. You don't get a name like Champ Bailey and suck. So, he had some memorable plays. He had a 100-yard return where I think he didn't score or someone knocked the ball out of his hand, but he ran it back almost 100 yards. It's crazy. But I love Champ Bailey. But Mac, it's year 5 or 6 or 7. I added too many more to my categories, but I get excited to add players.
Absolutely loved it.
Been a lot of great cornerbacks. It's hard to just narrow it down to 5 for me. But
Mac's gonna go to the way back.
Obviously, no, I'm not even gonna take it. I'm not because they'll be the names for sure. But obviously, prime time, Deion.
What a name! You get a nickname, right?
Obvious reasons. Just he's on everybody's list for obvious reasons. So Deion Sanders for sure. Rod Woodson for me.
Good. I'm glad he's on your list. I thought it was crazy.
Coming up in the 90s, Deion Sanders, Rod Woodson, they were the absolute
studs.
They were the standard at the cornerback position in the 90s.
Isn't they aren't they leading the NFL in return yardage, Joe? Both those guys and interceptions, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Rod Woodson was more physical.
Phenomenal talents. But then I still go with Revis, man. Darrell Revis here. He's got his own island, man.
Hey, man. I have something in common with Darrell Revis.
You guys have islands.
That says it all. That just says it all. Then I got Champ Bailey here. Champ Bailey, that was a great call right there, Adam, man. Champ Bailey was just that dude.
People forget about him, man.
Phenomenal, man.
He's good. He was locked out.
You cannot forget about Champ Bailey and the things he did throughout his career. But then I'm now at this point, there's so many other great ones that I could just add here in this next spot. You got, like you said, you guys, Charles Woodson's name's already come up. But I'm gonna throw another guy. Aeneas Williams was a great call in the Hall of Fame with Michael Strahan. That was awesome. I'm gonna throw another name out there just for the sake of throwing another name out there. A guy that I used to love growing up. Even though he played for a rival, we played for one of the arch rivals. But
Darrell Green, isn't it?
But Darrell Green, man. Darrell Green.
I knew it.
That's exactly where I'm going. Darrell Green from the Washington Redskins.
I had him on my list.
That dude was also another phenomenal talent at cornerback. Man. It was fun to watch.
He was 5'8".
At this point, I just feel like there's so many. It was so many great cornerbacks. You can still keep kind of going on and on with these guys. But yeah, Darrell Green was definitely really good, man. Eagles had a dynamic duo for a while with Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent. You can go on. Guys,
Eric Allen.
Eric Allen, yeah. These guys, a lot of good.
You know who I like? I don't know if you remember this guy, Mac. He didn't have a long career, but Sean Springs was pretty good corner back in the day. Man.
Oh, absolutely.
He was very good corner.
Absolutely.
For Seattle. One of the top corners. Got injured a lot, but he was a top. I used to love watching him play because he was shut down as well. So there are a lot of good guys, a lot of great corners that should probably be in the Hall of Fame, but won't get there because it's just a stacked, position with guys all over the place. And now you got guys coming up in the league who are going to probably end up being there as well. I like the way Trent McDuffie's already trending in a good manner, and some other guys across the league like Diggs might be there if you want to talk about it. I don't know if he'll end up being a good corner like that. Patrick Peterson, I do like. A little bit of a modern era guy for me. I don't think he's the greatest corner, but I do believe he's had a Hall of Fame career. Those are your rankings. I can't really, I shouldn't shit on them or say anything like that. But my point is, he's not on my. I liked him. I think he's a top 10 corner. If I was naming 10, I'd probably put him on there. But all times, when I'm thinking all time greats, I gotta have like Rod Woodson, Deion Sanders, Champ Bailey. Like Champ Bailey for me. He was my Deion Sanders. Like I like Deion, but I was towards the tail end of Deion's. Well, not Deion played for forever, but like his prime time years, really. But Champ Bailey was it for me. Him and Charles Woodson, phenomenal.
Well said, boys. Well said. All right, guys. Now we're gonna move on to the receivers for the section.
Oh,
all right, I'm
my
gonna give you
God.
guys my 5. And then I want to hear you guys.
It's the same difference, same thing here.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Absolutely.
It's so many
I
great
gotta-
receivers, man.
I got
Oh my
Jerry Weiss.
God.
Obviously.
Stop
number
it.
one.
So many.
Got Jerry Weiss.
Well, can we just take that off the list? Can we just put Rice in his own categories? 5 other receivers not named.
5
Rice.
other receivers.
We're all gonna
Okay,
have-
fair enough.
we're all
Fair enough.
gonna have it,
All right, so we got number 1. Then I'll have to go with honesty, man. All right, I have to go with Calvin Johnson just because I love that guy, the way he played. Yeah, I'm
Such a
youngin. I'm gonna go with Calvin Megatron, absolutely stud.
Who wants
Number
the
2,
nicknames?
Moss. I have to go with Randy Moss. So number 2 would be Randy Moss. Number 3, I have Julio Jones. I know, youngin, just all fans.
What is wrong with you?
All people I grew up watching.
I mean, I like Julio Jones, but
Absolutely. This was number 5, but he's gonna now be number 4, I guess. I got T.O. I know
thank
he
you.
played for the ops at times, but at the end of the day, man, that guy was a stud and he deserves to be on the list. So now that I have to have a 5 because we put Jerry Weiss out of it, I'm just gonna go with this guy because I grew up as an early fan of the team. I had to go back and do my research on him because I turned on the TV one day depressed because Michael Vick went to jail and I had to find a team to like. And this guy got a touchdown. So how do I not go to Moya Tuma? Personal, he's not a top 20 or top 30 all time. But for personally, Moya Tuma, man, what that guy meant for the organization.
What the hell does that have to do with Michael Vick?
Well, because basically Amori Tuma made me a Giants fan. Him and Eli. So that's basically why I put him at
The
number 5.
well-dressed Amani Toomer.
Absolutely. I mean, I would have gone with Knicks, but I think Tuma meant so much more for the organization. Nothing against Knicks and nothing against Plexico, but I just think Tuma.
Well, I love Toomer, but he's not making this top 5. So.
Yeah. So he didn't make my top 5 either, but just random name that I had to throw out since we had to move Jerry Weiss. Did anybody think that one through? If I'd have to do it, AJ Green might come out. Chad might come out, but that being said, let's pass it over to the boys. Go ahead, Adam.
Listen, the reason why we took out Jerry Rice is because we all know the 3 of us are going to pick Jerry Rice.
Yeah, true.
Right? So to add a little spontaneity to the thing, we're taking out right. We can all agree here, hands raised, Jerry Rice is number 1. Okay? It's everybody else. Everybody else is chasing. So I'm not even going to rank it because number 1 all day, every day is Jerry Rice, and that is it. Final. That is final.
That's
now, let the list begin. Okay? Let the list begin. So now, in no particular order, I'm going to name 5 receivers. It's not like a 1 through 5. These are just great guys. It's not like my corner list. This is random. I'm going to start with Chris Carter. I loved Chris Carter growing up. He was my second favorite number 8.
All he did was score touchdowns.
Exactly. That's all he did. But he ended up having a Hall of Fame career. Chris Berman coined that phrase, people. If you used to watch NFL Countdown, Sunday primetime, all he does was catch touchdown. Because Buddy Ryan was like, oh, we got rid of him. Why? Because all he does is catch touchdown. Dumbest excuse ever. But hey, it was a moniker that stuck, and that's what he did for the rest of his career. Ends up going to the Hall of Fame. He got the last laugh. Thank you, Buddy Ryan. So Chris Carter is one of my favorites and putting on this list. Randy Moss is another one of my favorites. Just an absolute gazelle out there. Really defied the odds when he was coming out. 1998, that's when I really started to follow the draft. My first real draft coverage was 1997. Is when I really started to get into the draft. Ike Hilliard was obviously the Giants pick. Loved him coming out, but he was no Randy Moss. So Randy Moss shattered records, everything like this. But this guy, Now this guy made me love playing receiver. This guy made me bring the swag, and that's T.O. Why? Because you love me some me. You listen to his NFL films, and if you can't get jacked up listening to T.O., then you're not listening to the right game. That guy walked, talked, and acted everything that he wanted. He loved it. And I loved watching him because you know what I was seeing was greatness. Taking out the Sharpie and his thing, doing the pom-poms in middle of Big D. That's what I'm talking about. That's when receivers had cojones. That's when we were badass dudes. And he was the baddest receiver on the planet. Not to mention coming back from a Super Bowl. I didn't like that he played for the Cowboys and the Eagles, but when he played for the 49ers, man, I loved that guy and I respected that guy. No one realized that he played for the Bengals and the Bills as well. That being said, moving on to another guy who I loved, probably should be in the Hall of Fame, probably won't get there, but my favorite receiver growing up was Chad Ochocinco, a.k.a. Chad Johnson. Loved that man. Loved everything he did. He brought a funness to the receiving game. You know, if he was the one that really opened up the dancing in the end zone, because before it was, he used to dance, and Primetime had his dancing, but then they kind of, didn't do it anymore. But then Chad Ochocinco did it, and then did it with vigor and villa and fun. Every week you tuned in to his game so you could see what was next. Proposing to the cheerleader, bringing out the sign, playing golf with the pylon. There's so many more going on. I loved watching him play. He was an absolute stud. I think we're at number 4, where this is my last one. It's a toughie. I've got 3 guys fitting into one spot, and it's going to be a coin toss right here, or whichever comes out of my mouth. I'll use this guy because I never usually use him. Tim Brown. I'll give you Tim Brown on this list. I have another guy that I'll add another close fifth who I usually put in here is Andre Reed, but since I use Reed all the time, those who know me know I use Reed. I use Tim Brown, who's one of my favorite receivers of all time. Doesn't get the credit that he deserves because he never won a Super Bowl, and he never had good quarterback play. So that he doesn't have a quarterback to help him be remembered by, just like Montana to Rice, Irvin to Aikman, and all the other greats that we have. You have Tim Brown and a bunch of nobodies throwing the football. That's why he's so special. He still is great, even when he didn't have great players around him.
Well said. Well said. Over to you, Mac.
Well, once again, such a loaded category here. I mean, so many different ways you can go. I mean, so many different ways you can go. But away I go. And Randy Moss, man, for me. I mean, you got mossed, bro. You got mossed.
That's a thing now.
I mean, like that's a real thing because of him. So Randy Moss definitely, man.
Yeah, we don't see it enough these days.
Megatron, Calvin Johnson, Megatron. I mean, look at these nicknames. Megatron. A wide receiver nicknamed Megatron.
Oh, hell, Megatron.
Bro. Yeah, so.
You know, I forgot to put on that was Larry Fitzgerald.
Sure, see? I mean, like I said, there's so many different ways you can go with this list, man. I mean.
It's just what era you're in, what flavor you want. It's like Baskin Robbins in this place right now. 31 flavors.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, so I got Randy Moss. I got Calvin Johnson. I mean, you know what? Just because you're right, Adam. Larry Fitzgerald. Why do we forget how great Larry Fitzgerald was? Larry Fitzgerald was the shit. Consistent his entire career. Consistently great is his entire career. Sometimes on very, very bad Cardinal teams.
Oh, my God. Yes.
And he was still always consistently great.
Fifth in yards.
Consistently
great. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And
he had nobody for a while throwing the ball. I mean, jeez.
Is 16,000 or 17,000 all receiving?
Who?
Larry.
Oh my God, he's so good. He's the quiet man.
Yeah.
But another one I throw out there, Marvin Harrison, man. Gotta throw Marvin Harrison's name in the hat, man. Marvin Harrison was absolutely the shit.
He was good.
I mean, I don't just know any other way to put it. He was the shit. He was good. He was great.
I'll never forget
that a couple years before Peyton. He was great. He was great then. He obviously just
made Reggie Wayne a Hall of Famer.
After Peyton Manning got there, but absolutely,
Reggie Wayne's not a Hall of Famer without Marvin Harrison. Like, no doubt about it. Like, I love Reggie Wayne, but you got to give credit to Marvin Harrison. He's not a Hall of Famer without him. Hands down, bar none.
But Marvin Harrison was absolutely the shit. Gotta throw that name in the ring.
And now his son's coming out. That's
another
how old
guy,
we are,
man. Another guy I'm going to bring up just because, I mean, I know I keep bringing up these arch rivals, man, but another guy, this was his career ended very abruptly,
Oh,
unfortunately.
I know where this is
So
going.
Michael Irvin, man, people forget Michael Irvin,
Yeah,
man, was
he was a good
absolutely
player.
sensational for the Dallas Cowboys, man, absolutely. And I think people forget how
How
great of a
good he
wide
was.
receiver
Yeah.
he actually was. I mean,
He was
his
a
career, the way it
beast.
ended, it was unfortunate. To go out that nobody wants to go out that way. I
You know who he
mean,
reminded me of?
and to this day,
Akeem
I still
Nicks,
say
his body
shame on the
type.
Eagle fans. Oh yeah, yeah. But just shame on the Eagle fans the way that went down
Oh
that
yeah.
day. I mean, no matter what, you don't cheer a guy getting injured like that. That was despicable. And it ended up ending his career, and then a great Hall of
Yeah.
Fame wide receiver like Michael Irvin. That's unfortunately the way he went out by a bunch of Eagle fans cheering him being injured and getting carried off the field, getting carted off the field with a career-ending injury. So, Michael Irvin, I throw his name out there. I'm only saying that because you guys have both all said good names, great names too, and it's just so many other ones. I just want to acknowledge some
Yeah, you
other
can do whatever
I
you
names
love
want. It's a
that. I
list.
that
love
It's
have
like
that.
been brought up.
Baskin
Yeah.
Robbins,
Absolutely.
man. 31
I love
flavors.
that.
So it's just so many great wide receivers, man. You could just go a lot of different directions with this. Like Larry Fitzgerald, I would actually wasn't even I would have forgotten him if you didn't bring him up myself because that's how it is. Him and Tim, people like him and like Tim Duncan's, they're silent assassins, man. They
Yeah.
just go out there and do their fucking job, and and that's
Right.
it.
Right.
They don't look for they're not clout chase. They're not looking for anything. They're not looking for
You're
all
just like
the
Isaac Bruce,
acknowledgement.
man.
You
You
know
could
what I
say
mean? They
Isaac
just
Bruce. People don't forget how good
yeah,
Isaac Bruce was, because Torrey Holt's on the other side. Isaac Bruce is like
absolutely.
Marvin Harrison to me, man. He's just a quiet guy that all of a sudden you look up, he's got 14,000 yards. Like, what?
Absolutely love it. Alrighty,
He
boys.
was a beast.
I'm probably gonna give you guys a hint, not even a hint, because it's just I say we do linemen next. We do offensive and defensive linemen next week. What do you guys think? Just we have a week to look at it.
Oh, good. I guess we have a week to study up on linemen.
Absolutely, how
That's the
fun!
first. You know some linemen, but it's like you got what position is he playing at? Like, it gets convoluted, because I'm
Yes,
just going to say the entire Cowboy offensive line. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's also once again a lot of different directions you can go with that. I mean, it's a lot of
Well,
great ones.
defense
I
is
mean,
different.
so it's a
Defense,
lot of different
I got
directions.
plenty of guys on the
absolutely,
defense.
absolutely.
Are we running a 4-3 or 3-4?
Any hybrid, anything.
I need to know. This is critical to
You
my
can
defensive line.
you can put in edge rushers if you want to.
That doesn't help me. See, because when you edge rusher is a bullshit term, okay? It's just an outside linebacker, or a Sam linebacker. They made up this edge term so they could look cool and added like, ooh, it's an edge rusher. No, motherfucker, that's an outside linebacker. That's what Lawrence Taylor was his entire career. That's what Derek Thomas was his entire career. Now you're gonna get cute with that shit.
Put five. I would say you can put 5 people that line up on the line.
5 people line up on the line. That's not even a thing, man.
They line it up on the line. You can count them.
Or 3-4. That's how we roll with this thing, man. We don't fucking 5 on the line. What the fuck are we doing here? Okay, what mathematics?
We're doing 5, so we'll do
5 down
yeah,
line.
yeah.
They're not. Get out of here. Get
If
out
you
of
want
here.
to,
This is how
you
we're
can
doing.
have 5 DTs if you wanted to. If you
First
wanted
off,
to.
who's running the team with 5 DTs, man?
I'm just saying,
you're probably not winning many
if
battles.
somehow in your mind you can name 5 DTs that make your top 5 defensive linemen, go right ahead.
Oh.
Probably not going to be
Oh.
like that.
I think I could.
I
think I could.
So
Great
just
defensive
5
tackles
defensive.
over the years.
We're adding defensive ends and defensive tackles. And this is gonna be like basketball. Like there's gonna be so many flavors.
That's what I'm saying. You have to only select 5.
No, we're going to do it like this, okay? We're going to do 5 defensive ends and 5 defensive tackles so we can really get some names in here on there. Because, I could name 5 defensive ends and not even have a tackle on there, and tackle deserves to be on there.
Okay, yes.
There's some great tackles in the Hall of Fame right now. Their name needs to be called, damn it.
I love it. For our final, so we're all in agreement. We're gonna go 5 DTs and 5 edge rushers, whatever.
Right. And I'm not going 5 guards. I'm just going 5 freaking linemen.
Yes, absolutely.
I ain't got time for all that nonsense.
I love it. Which brings us, guys, to our last topic of
No
the
offense,
night.
Mac.
Last topic of the night.
Mac
Now, free agents, guys, we're gonna be talking about it throughout the month. I know free agency is coming up, but the combine is coming up next week as well. So I'll probably touch on this question. I know next week's episode will probably be covering it as well as it's going on and stuff like that. So that being said, our last final topic, and if you guys want to add in any other topics surrounding the combine or surrounding even free agency, please add it in there. But what are you guys most excited to see at the Underwear Olympics, at the 2024 combine? I know
Simple for me.
What's going
Simple
on,
for me.
Alex?
Simple
What's
for
up,
me.
Alex? Let's get it. Go ahead. Take it over.
Well, listen, you can get cute with the receivers. Okay, great. Right, you
Yeah.
run your 40 times. Right. I am here for one thing and one thing only. I don't give a damn what the linemen run. I don't care what the receivers run. I don't give a damn what Rich Eisen runs. I am going there for Saturday afternoon to see the marquee matchup, and that is these quarterbacks. That's what I'm looking at. We already got Bo Nix throwing. We got Michael Penix Jr. throwing. I'm sure you're going to probably see Drake May and JJ
Hold it down, guys.
McCarthy
I'll be right
throwing.
back.
I need you, Joe Shane, to be front and center with your clipboard, your stopwatch, your notepad, because these are the guys you're picking. No excuses. We know that there are no excuses. Okay, I don't want to hear it. We've given excuses to Daniel Jones and everything. I'm tired of excuses. There are no excuses. Get it done. You be front row. I'll be front row. I got my popcorn. Mac, you might have a different event you want to watch, maybe the defense, maybe the cornerbacks, but I know where I'm watching. I know what probably the fan base will be watching, the quarterbacks.
I mean, I'm looking at nothing more than I will be looking at the quarterbacks. But at the end of the day, Underwear Olympics, as my guy Paul Dottino likes to refer to this event
P-Dot.
as, look, you don't expect to see like guys looking really bad here. I mean, it's at the end of the day, you're running around shorts. These guys are great athletes. It is what it is. I'm not one of those. I just don't hold as much stake in this. I more or less go on what I see on the field, what I see guys do on the field with the pads on, and when it's game time. These guys are all great athletes. Of course, you're going to look good running 40s and doing a little bench pressing and vertical jump stuff. Sure, okay, that's what you guys have trained your whole life to be good at doing, these drills, But what you do on the field is what I value the most. So I really, I never really get too hyped for this event, for the combine. Guys go out there and do all kind of amazing things in the combine, and then they raise their draft stock, and then they go out there and they look like shit in the league. It just is what it is. Because that Mike Mamula, I'll never forget you. Went out there and had that amazing combine years ago, and the Eagles drafted you with like the number or whatever, like top 10 pick, and you never did a damn thing. You could never do shit in the league on game day, man. So. I'll be watching those quarterbacks, though, because the New York Giants, we need to be in the quarterback business for this draft, and I definitely have my eye on those guys.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Well said. Yeah, Alex, you're absolutely right. Max right, and Adam's right. You guys said it perfectly. I just think the main position that we need to be targeting in this offseason, I think all of us agree, is the quarterback position. And I just think with being now, I honestly think there's four top quarterbacks, and then there's two secondary quarterbacks. There's a lot after that as well. But when the Giants are in the position that they need to pick, I'm going to be focusing on the quarterbacks. Obviously, it's always fun watching how fast these guys can run, if they can break any records. But does that translate on the field? No, sometimes it doesn't. But I am excited to see, obviously I always watch the combine to see some of these small school guys get a chance to perform. So shout out to them. And some of these guys that maybe not on anybody's notebooks, not in anybody's thoughts, apparently might go out there and might go make a name for themselves and might be on people's radars. So that being said, and also too, Alex, I think, brought it up too. It's like, unless a big injury happens, right? So you like last season, Puka really couldn't do it Puka things because of his injury, and then he falls down in the draft, and the Rams select him, and then the rest is history. Puka's of winning rookie of the almost winning rookie of the year outside of CJ Stroud, but regardless, just having an amazing rookie season. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see all these small school guys do their things, but most likely excited for the quarterbacks. But without further ado, is there anything else that we didn't touch on, guys, that you want to maybe touch on? Any final thoughts before I hand it over to Mac to close us out? That being said,
I'm
team Mac.
I'm cool. Just excited. Little like I said, a little excited to see these quarterbacks because the New York Giants are definitely back in the quarterback business. But that's definitely pretty much. Only thing that's going to kind of excite me a little bit about the combine because you just want to keep your eye on who could potentially be the next the future for the New York Football Giants, man. And that's all I care about right now going into this all season is this team finding their guy and hopefully nailing the pick, nailing it, whoever it may
Absolutely.
be. So we'll see what happens, man. But with that being said, everybody, I want to thank y'all for coming out. Another edition of the Premium Takes podcast. Me and my guys here, Adam Costas, Zion Zenith, man, bringing this to you each and every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. Make sure y'all go to my channel, Adam's channel, Zion's channel, the Hardcore Sports Network. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, man, and hit that ring that bell so you know when we coming on and dropping all this content for y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, everybody. Once again, throw them fours up for our guy, NYG Jeffy T, man. Always doing this for him. Nobody's ever getting this seat at the table, man. It's always going to be reserved for NYG Jeffy T, man. No doubt indeed. Rest in peace, man. Always, man. This has been another edition of the Premium Takes Podcast. I'm Mac the Giants fan. That's Zion Zenith. That's Adam Costas, man. See y'all next week. Pass!